All right, everybody, getting ready to go? Here we go. Hello, everyone. Well, that is it. It's a wrap for meteorological summer. And as we head into meteorological fall, we have a little bit of everything in store. Coming up in this version of Hutch's Weather, we're talking heat, we're talking wind, we're talking rain and thunder and change. And dare I say, frost? Oh, my goodness. It's all coming up right now. You're watching Hutch as well.
A Hutch's Weather Update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
And a special thanks to my sponsors at Robert Gibb and Sons. Say, did you know that they can take care of your sump pump and make sure that it is working? And not only that, there's some new technology available that not only will add a battery backup to your sump pump, but they can make sure that it sends you text alerts. What? That's right. Call Robert Gibb and Sons today. Let them know Hutch sent you, would you? And now let's take a look at a couple of things. Number one, very excited to make a little bit of an announcement here. So if you can bear with me while we get this thing started, I want to see who's joining me. Hey, Brenda, good to have you on board. Make sure you drop your name on board here and let me know who's watching. Also, make sure you follow Hutch on Facebook here. That way you get notifications of my updates when they come out. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button as well. And now let's take a look at a little bit of a video, that I created for this. So here we go. We'll get started. Woo-wee. Are you ready?
Can't wait to tell you about this. Let's get this started. Accelerating to new heights. I'm driven to do what I love. And I'm excited to share what's next, because you asked for it. Stay tuned for a huge announcement coming this week.
All right. That's right. This week, I want to make sure that you are all on board and, paying attention to Hutch's Weather this week. Some exciting news to pass along to you. And I hope you have a chance to, join me for that announcement. I'll have a date coming up here very soon. Good evening, Cheryl from Park Rapids, Nancy and Brenda. Good to have both of you on board. And indeed, we do have a lot of weather to talk about, but what a beautiful close to this holiday weekend as we enjoyed a lot of blue skies. And it does look like we will have a taste of some hot and then something that's not quite so hot. So let's get right to the forecast facts, shall we? And we're going to start with a look at some model guidance out here. So let's take a look at that model guidance as we head into the overnight hours tonight. We're going to be very quiet out there. And then as we stop this thing from rolling through, let's go ahead and get to the overnight. Notice that there could be just a little bit of a weather wiggle working its way in over the Minot area as we head through the overnight hours. And then we get towards your early hours of the morning. This particular model here says that as we cross into around 5:30 in the morning, a chance for a few sprinkles working their way through. So keep that in mind. Not very heavy, not widespread, as we have some big time weather changes making their way in. Tomorrow morning, the wind won't be too strong, as a matter of fact, and things are looking like a good start out there as well. Now, let's carry this on even farther into the future for your day tomorrow. By midday, most of the showers will either exit into parts of Minnesota or we're going to see them just all in all break up. We'll have a few clouds out there, but by and large, that's about it. Then as we go through the afternoon, the heat is on. And notice what goes on by the end of the day as we cross into the 9 to 10 p.m. hour out to the west. We're going to see some changes in store. And by the time we get to your Wednesday, there'll be a chance for some thunderstorms for a few of us. Those could be strong. The Storm Prediction Center, as we take a look at some of their guidance, I'll pop that up here on the screen for you because it's something that we can do. Let's go to day 3. This will get us into that Wednesday. Anywhere you see this green color here, this green shade that's on the weather map, this area is where the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted as a marginal risk for severe weather on Wednesday, not Tuesday. So Wednesday will bring a chance for a few strong storms. I'm not expecting widespread severe, but we'll have some big time changes in temperatures working their way through the region as we go through that period. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit then, and I'll look for questions from you. I do want to highlight here that we do have some changes in store with regards to temperatures tonight, though fairly mild. Look at this, the coolest weather out near the Big Lake Superior. We're talking mid-50s in the Arrowhead of Minnesota, Brainerd 57 degrees, Bemidji 59. How about Thief River at 60 to get your day going and back to school for kids across Minnesota, greater Minnesota indeed. 58 degrees out in Grant County and out towards the Morris and Benson area. Fergus Falls 60 to start your day. And look at where the red is. That's where things will be fairly mild in the morning hours. Now, I have sunny skies for us. Just a couple of us will have a chance at seeing some of those spits of precipitous precipitation to begin your day. Afternoon forecast for your Tuesday. It looks gusty. Do you see the winds out here? We're talking near 40 miles per hour in the central Dakotas and maybe the James River Valley. That's where the strongest winds will be. We're going to push 100 degrees in a few spots along that South Dakota border. So if you are in Lemon, South Dakota, Hettinger, Bismarck, all the way out towards New Salem, Sioux, as well as Glendive, Montana, mid to upper 90s there. And look at the temperatures here in the valley. It's going to be no picnic out there. Windy and warm. 87 degrees. If you're drying grain, this should really go a long ways towards doing that. And then we'll take a look at some of the chances for precipitation moving farther on in the forecast period. But for now, let's take a look at this 7-day planner, shall we? First, just to let you know, it starts out hot before it's not as we go into your forecast for the midweek. 87 degrees on Tuesday. Strong storms here and there on Wednesday as a cold front moves through. And take a look at this. We're talking temperatures that peak only in the low 60s for some of us, upper 50s in the far north as we go through Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I want to point this out. Oh my, you see that? That's Fargo, and Hutch has a 38. 38 is a big slap in the face out there for many of us as we're going from temperatures near 90 on Tuesday to into the 30s. And dare I say, some patchy areas of frost will be possible. That's right. With temperatures dipping down this low, there could be some frost in some low spots out there, carrying you on into your Monday forecast for the following week ahead. Let me get my head out of the way. 79 degrees. A little bit of a rebound with some south winds returning. Also of note in this planning forecast is that we have hump day happenings, right? That's when the transition happens from the hot to the not, and there'll be some rain and thunder bringing that change out there. Who gets frosty next week? We'll talk about that. Let's talk about a couple of your questions right now, right here on Hutch's Weather as we continue to keep it interactive. Hopefully you've got the information you need to forecast. If not, let me know. Ishta says, Val, out there about that forecast. Indeed, I'm not ready for frost yet, and I don't think it's going to be widespread, but in spots, you bet. Rick, thanks for your support of stars. BA, thank you for your support of stars. All of you who have done so in the past have helped continue Hutch on a path towards continuing to bring great and new things to Hutch's Weather. And coming up this week, I'll be excited, very excited, to announce one of the bigger changes that I have coming. So don't miss the live event that I'll have on here. And let me duck out of here so I'm not on here twice, because that's kind of funny and a little bit strange. There we go. Okay, so don't miss the live event. There'll be an announcement coming on the exact location and time of that. It'll be right here on Facebook, as a matter of fact. Hint, hint. Now, learn more about the exciting program that's coming to Hutch's Weather, and I can't wait. This is huge news. It's really big. So I hope to have you on here as well. Let's see if there's any other questions here before we move on to some additional forecast information for you with regards to this extended forecast. Hello, was great day outdoor for painting the house in Cullum. Brad, thank you. It sure was. You need that nice stretch of dry weather for that, and thanks for no frost. Let's talk frosty temperatures. I got a couple of ways to show you that, but for now I'm going to load up a model here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the smoke forecast because it's something that has continued to be an issue across the area. Now, as we go through the next 24 to 36 hours, this is one of the only models that carries smoke out. There's a couple of reasons why it's a good idea to not look too far ahead with regard to the smoke forecast, because new fires happen and some fires firefighters gain control over. So there can be some changes in that. We're going to look at that near surface smoke, and we see that in central Minnesota, there continues to be a problem with that where you see the colors. Now, I'm going to back this off just a pinch, just a wee little bit, as we take a look at what we're seeing going on out to the west. Now, there are some big-time fires in the Rocky Mountain West. There's big-time fires in Canada, and our change in wind direction as we go into the middle of our week is going to bring changes. See the south flow of the wind? It's going to flush out some of the smoke across Minnesota as we go into your day tomorrow. But here comes a smack of smoke in the lower levels of the atmosphere here out west. We're talking in the Medora area, southwest towards Bowman, Hettinger, Buffalo, South Dakota, Baker, Montana, and get this, Ekalaka is going to have a smacka of some smoke in the forecast. So as we go through this, surface smoke drifts its way into the central Dakotas. The time frame you're looking at here is hump day, first thing in the morning. So it's returning, and look at what's heading toward the valley. Some smudge in the atmosphere working its way down by your Wednesday evening. This is associated with that front moving through. And notice where the smoke is coming from. It's Canada, folks. So there'll be some smoke out there. Hope you had a wonderful Labor Day, Clarine. Thank you. Thank you, Barbara, for joining as well. It's good to talk to all of you on Hutch's weather. So that's a look at the smoke in your forecast. Now, one thing to keep in mind is a lot of the heat that we've had lately has come with quite a bit of humidity. And for that, we're going to look at some dew point temperatures in the forecast map. So give me a moment while this loads up and we'll take a peek at that. And in the meantime, I'm going to pull up some other details over here on the radar data. So we'll take a look at that too just a moment here. Now, okay, let's talk dew points. This is one of those high resolution models again. We're going to rewind this and take it back to the start. So we have dew points that are hovering in here in the 50s and 60s. 50s is average for our area. Again, dew point is a temperature we have to cool the air down for the air to become saturated. So with temperatures today in the 80s, we have to cool it down a good 30 degrees before it's anywhere close to making fog or clouds in the atmosphere. It also is a good sign when we get dew points that if we have higher dew points that are in the 70s or 80s, we don't have to lift the air that much to cool it to make a cloud. So cloud bases end up being closer to the ground. Notice out to the west, all this brown out here. That is some extremely dry air. Dew points are in the low 30s out there. Let's set this into motion as we go through your day tomorrow. South winds will return this very heavy amount of humidity into the area as we go through your Tuesday late in the day. The south winds really will help build that back in. Now, here comes a cold front. Here's that dry air working its way in behind the system. That's what's going to allow temperatures as we go later in the week to dip down into those 30s. We get dew points in the 30s. The temperature can be cooled down to the dew point fairly quickly on a long, cold, dry, clear night. So that's what we're looking at there. Now, let's take one quick look at that radar and we'll wrap up this version of Hutch's weather as we head into the late night hours. Whoopsie, let's go ahead and get the right graphic up here. That's a look at some of your comments. Thanks, Cheryl. Smelling smoke in Park Rapids. Thanks for your report. Now let's take a look at what we have going on the radar, but we have to back way up out here. Now, as we do take a look, we do see a little bit of green specks in the radar out in the western part of the Dakotas. And when we look out towards places like, Montana, there we have a little bit more in the way of some precipitous precipitation working its way through. Now, when we go back and look at the big view of the nation, look what's going on out in Boise, Idaho. So there is a wave making its way in the mid-levels of the atmosphere into the Rocky Mountain West, the central Rockies right now. It's windy as we have Idaho Falls with some damaging wind reports. Boise seeing severe thunderstorms at this hour heading into the evening hours. So this is the big change that's coming, but ahead of it, we'll have south winds feeding warm, moist air into the northern plains. All right, one last check for questions from my gang out here, Hutch's Weather Gang. Let's see if I can find any. Okay, happy Labor Day to you, Joan. Good to have you on board. Thanks so very, very much for watching, Leora. Good to have you on from St. Hilaire. So I hope all of you had a wonderful weekend. Please pass the word that I have a big announcement coming this week. I don't want anyone to miss it. I'm super duper excited about this, and I can't wait to share this exciting news with you. So for now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. We do have some cooler weather heading our way. The last thing I'll go ahead and show you is a look at the European forecast model here. The European forecast model is one of those models that Hutch likes to take a gander at when it comes to temperatures as we go through the period. And one of the things we're going to look at is after we get through this hot weather tomorrow. You'll see the heat building in. Then as we go into the forecast period into Wednesday, that's our change day. And after that, notice the cooler, drier air moving in. This model isn't going out very far. Let me go out to the last model run that goes out a little bit farther. My apologies. So as we glide through the middle of the week, we're going to see some mighty cooler temperatures. There's your warm up as we go through that Wednesday period. And here comes some cooler air in the mornings. Notice that we do have some 40s out there. This model is showing just a couple getting into those mid 40s as we go into Saturday morning across the region. So it doesn't show a lot of 30s on this particular model, but Hutch has a little crack in his elbow. And I do think a few of us could see some temperatures as we go particularly into, and let's show you my 7-day planner here for you, as we get into the time frame of the late week and the weekend. So look at Saturday and into Sunday on this 7-day planner, and here is where you're going to see the big transition. the cold air making its way in. Whoop, where is it? There it is. Okay, sorry about that. So Saturday, we hit a balmy high of only 63 degrees. Be ready for that. And then after that, as we head into your Sunday morning, that's when I think we're going to have a few places, even here in the valley, that really see the chill in the air. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. Thanks so very much. Make sure that you check out and pay attention to any scheduled events that I do on Facebook here for this week, because that big announcement is coming this week. But for now, make sure you follow me on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and as always, you can get the very latest in your forecast and weather right on my brand new website, hutchesweather.com.